ดีครับอาจารย์นัท
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์นัท
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับเป็นไงบ้างวันหลงกันสวัสดีครับขอบคุ
ก็
ณมากเลย
ไม่เจอนานเลยนะครับ
ใช่ขอบคุณมากที่มาช่วยดูแลนะครับ
คุณอาริซาสวัสดีครับ
คุณดัดดี้ Hey how are you
Good.
Thank you so much for let us to cooperate about this
Oh yeah, thank you very much for arranging this.
สวัสดีครับไปเลย
สวัสดีค่ะปันเดดี้
Bye. Oh, cannot see.
Very beautiful picture in your bag คุณดัดดี้
Yeah. Why they cannot go in again?
Yeah. So I'm not sure that Kun Art is already. I mean, let me introduce Kun Daddy and Kun Art. He's our speaker, right? So I'm not sure this one. You are the first met, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first time we met Art.
Up, yeah.
Ratapong, but you can just call me Art. Art is my nickname. Nice to meet you.
Kun Ar.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Kun Ar. Nice to meet you. Sawadee
krap.
So Kun Art, Kun Daddy is very long time with our very key customer in Indonesia. He's the exclusive distributor and very big company in Indonesia.
No.
So and Ajahn Art, I call Ajahn Art Kun Daddy. Ajahn is my professor. Okay. So he's also very support Wilsonart in Thailand quite long time too.
Yeah.
Very professional on the design.
Okay.
So very lucky.
Kun Professor, where is it?
Yes, I teach in Chiang Mai University.
Oh, you. Okay.
Actually, I just went
Art.
to Jakarta beginning of this year.
Oh, okay.
For the Art ID event from IAI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, before the pandemic.
Okay. You can come again soon.
Yes, hopefully, because even my friend inviting me for a lecture in Jakarta. Yeah. So hopefully everything got resolved and everything.
Yeah, I think July should be okay, right? July.
Hopefully.
I think people don't want.
Selamat sore, Bapak Ibu semuanya yang sudah join. Terima kasih. Sekarang sudah jam 3. Saya ingin berterima kasih untuk semua partisipasinya. Webinar hari ini akan dilaksanakan dalam bahasa Inggris, tapi nanti kalau ada yang mau tanya dalam bahasa Indonesia, dipersilahkan nanti akan dibantu untuk ditranslate. Okay. So, my name is Beatrice from LKS. First, I would like to say welcome and thank you for the enthusiasm of every one of you to join today's webinar. So, besides all participants in this Zoom meeting, we have viewers that joins us through YouTube live streaming as well. So, there's one rule during this webinar is to please switch off your microphone during the presentation. Okay, so I'm going to give you time to switch off the microphones now. All right, perfect. Thank you. There will be a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions, you can write it down so you will not forget it. And please raise hand during the Q&A before switching on your microphone. So there's going to be a raise hand button on the Zoom meeting. Or for our YouTube viewers, you can write down the questions in the comment box. We will give away some of LKS and Wilsonart merchandise and Starbucks cards for a few of you who asked questions. I advise you to stay until the end of this webinar because we will be giving you a certificate of attendance. And there's going to be an evaluation poll, so we know how to make this better for you in the future. Okay, so it's very exciting today to have both professionals and students in here from both Indonesia and overseas. And today we have very special guests all the way from Thailand. Here with us is May and Chakpong and Adisak from Wilsonart, Thailand. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Okay, hi guys. Hi everyone. My name is May from Wilsonart, Thailand. It's our great honor to be here. Thank you, LKS and Art to organize this webinar. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the webinar today. Thank you.
Thanks, May. And I'd like to introduce our speaker, Mr. Ratapong, or who we usually call Art, who is one of the most distinguished architect in Thailand, who has taken time from his busy schedule to share his insight about sustainable design for interior design and architecture in ASEAN in the new normal. So without further ado, I would like to invite Art to our virtual stage. Please take it from here, Art.
Okay, hi everyone. Okay. So first of all, thank you very much for Wilsonart Thailand to invite me for this lecture, and also thank you very much for our partners in Indonesia to make this happen. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to my screen. Beatrice, can you? I think someone still open the microphone. Can you?
Okay, I'll ask Ben, our host, to
switch off. Okay.
Yep. Sorry, Art.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you were muted. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. So let me try to share my screen. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Just beginning with this ad first. Okay. So I think today what I got the topic from Wilsonart Thailand. It's about how mostly concept of sustainable design in like interior, but actually I did some interior, but mainly I did most of the architecture design through architecture and then passing on to interior. It's kind of like a process. So I will, but actually it as a whole. So I can begin. So the topic I rearranged it a little bit. So it's a sustainable design in ASEAN architecture, and it's a design process of material space and form from architecture to interior design. Okay. Oop. All right. Okay. So it's me. So most of the work that I do with under the name of my small firm. It's called CAST, Collaborative Architect Studio. And I did with another partner. We still did some project together. His name is Julian Huang. He also teach in same school as I do now in Chiang Mai University. And then just briefly about myself, I born and raised in Chiang Mai, Thailand, north of Thailand. So I graduated here from 1996 to 2001. And then from 2003 and 2005, I went study abroad in States in IIT, Illinois Institute of Technology. And then from 2005 to 2007, I went to University of Hawaii in Honolulu, Hawaii. And then after that, I have a chance to work in States for a year and in Hawaii. And then after that, after a year, I came back and started teaching. And I did some small practice as well. So before beginning of all the works that I've done, which related to sustainable design, I think I can give you a brief history and example of Thai architecture, just a little bit. Actually, I did a couple of lecture for one of my friends in Jakarta a couple of weeks ago. I think if you listen to the lecture, some of the slides maybe have the same project, but I did alter it a little bit. So this time we will be more keen on interior and also the process of thinking. Okay, so just briefly, I'm just gonna go quick on this part because I know that I have only 45 minutes for the talk. Okay, so first beginning of the basis of the how people like intern or architects design, especially for me. So usually Thailand have like long history. I'm just gonna go fast on this one. We have a lot of kingdom before we unite as Siam and then Thailand later on. And then we have many type or style of architecture, but mostly it's really begin and it depends on what we call context, which is related to materials, weather, and then how people live in architecture. And this is each of the sample for the architecture in each periods. And then usually in Thailand, when it came down to the basics of the architecture, it's residence and then religious building, which is really basic before we have like different type of architecture later on. And then usually the house or residential is what really reflecting what we are today. During that time, we have like really basic of the house, which is made by bamboo, and then really like a wood, which is another type of architecture. And then general idea for the like really traditional Thai house, usually it's raising up because of the flood and because of the weather, because central area is quite hot, right? So in order to let the wind go through and also let the suns go through, the house needs to be raised up, and also protecting for the animals. And then we use a lot of like abundant of the natural resources which we have around that time, which is like bamboo and then woods. And then surprisingly, the Thai wooden house you can do as the prefabrication, so you can move it around by disassemble it and reassemble it again. And also the characteristic of the Thai house, we have a lot of we call it semi-outdoor space, which is like the space under the first floor, under the roof or terrace, which allow ventilations and allows allow winds to go through. And in each part of Thailand, it's also have different kind of the house too, even though we made of the woods and also natural resources like bamboo and stuff, but each one have different characters. Northern, which is where I live, we call it Lana. Lana, it's like six, I believe it's six different city, which is have the same pattern or the same cultural aspect. So we call Lana area. Lana is quite like up north, so the weather is quite cold during the winter. So they have different characteristic from the one in the central, because the one in the central always like the weather is hot and humid. So in order to create the comfortable atmosphere or comfortable space for people to live in, usually they need to let the wind go through, and then the material need to be really discharge heat easily than the one in the north. But the south, it's quite different from the north and the central because of the heavy rains. I can say southern is more similar to in like Malaysian and Indonesian style of architecture. And then northeast, which is more hotter than the rest of the country. And this is just general idea for Thai architecture, religious. So mainly 95% of Thai population, we have like, it's a Buddhism, we practice Buddhism. So mainly the architecture is temple, Buddhist temple. And then they have like different type of temple, different of buildings inside the temple, which is usually using the belief of from the concept of Traipum Paruang, which is it's a belief of the core of Buddhism. So that's how the basics of the Thai architecture is based on this from the past. So so later on, when Thai architecture have development from past to present, usually we have like 4 main factors that really like affect to us in the present day. Western influence, architecture movement to preserve the traditional architecture, and then how we create identity during colonial era, and then tourism industry. And then this is Western influence. The Western influence is a movement during the 70s. So we have a lot of buildings, like especially in Bangkok, that we got a lot of influence from the Western. You can see the order, you can see the facades, you can see the colonnade that we got from that movement during that time. And then after that, we also get the concept of the Western as well, since after World War II. And this is a high rise in Bangkok, which is it's during the late modern and early postmodern architecture. You can see that. And then, but for the present day, usually now, I think the movement from Thai architecture, they now try to represent how identity we can present to the world. So that's the whole general idea for Thai architecture. And then when we zoom in into my area, which will be the main topic for today. So my area, it's a northern part of Thailand, which is surrounded by the mountain. We call the style is called Lana, which is comprised of the small city that in this area, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Lamphun, Lampang, Phra Nan, and all this area. So usually we have like really specific kind of architecture, which is mainly made of wood. And then it's really fit perfectly in this context because of the cold weather. And then this is type of one of the house that I give you the example. This is a small scale house. And then this is type of the roof that we use. The roof is quite high because of the how we built during that time, and also with the type of construction as well. This is a style. And then there's some certain character that makes the Lana style is quite different from different parts of Thailand. One thing, it's called Gala. It's a roof gable, which is the comprised of 2 pieces of wood that attach to each other. And then they have like different theory that this one is show symbolic of the area, or some other theories say that it's because of the tectonic of how you built it. So when you cross it, so make it really strengthen the structure. So there's lots of theory about this one. And also the sliding panel is one of the unique character in this area too. So you can slide it, so it's make it for opening when you want to wind to go through. If it's too cold, you can just slide it close. And this is one of another example of the ventilation wall panel as well. And this is one of the example of the wall that taper a little bit because it won't let the cold wind to go in. And this is other unique as well, which it will reflect to my design. It's called Tun, which is like a space between semi-outdoor terrace and inside terrace, which you can sit there. And it's really define the space between inside and outside. So it kind of like a gray area a little bit between, if you consider it, the inside is a black area and open air, it's a white area. So this is a gray area, it's a space in between. And also the space at the gap that lets the wind to go through. And this is how we did some research about the wind, that you can let the wind go through. So actually, if you're sitting on the traditional house, you won't feel so much heat. Okay, that's the example. And also material, we use a lot of natural material, woods. And then this is how the traditional house laid down so the wind can go through. This is example. This is how we use the natural material. Okay, so that's for the basic idea of the tropical architecture, especially in the northern parts, and overall Thai architecture. So I think the what's I really want to show you guys is how I design, and which I think it's kind of like tied into the topic of today a little bit. Because today we will talk about the sustainable design, which starting from architecture and then to interior design. Okay, which I think it's kind of like cannot really separate it. It's kind of like have the connection to it, and we should think it as a whole. Okay, so this is what I usually go up. There's a mountain next to my university, so like you can just if you say in Chiang Mai, you can just cycling up, and then look towards the city, and you see the whole city. And I think it's kind of give me a thought that because we're living in the city with surrounded by nature, so when we design the architecture, we need to embrace that feeling or embrace that what we have like surrounding us to really use it. Okay, so the first project it's the project I did long time ago. It's a hotel, medium size. This hotel, it's the concept of the hotel. I begin with talking with the owner of the hotel. This hotel, it's her family hotel, and she really wants to build this hotel for her grandmother, and because her grandmother will be living in that hotel as well, and then it will be a family business owned hotel. So her family, it's like it's a Chinese, like real Chinese, and then she want to bring back her roots, but she lived in Chiang Mai as well. So it's kind of interesting that how we will design the mixing between Chineseness and also how we represent the Chiang Mai. Okay, so we kind of like brainstorming a little bit and think how we will represent like Chinese and Chiang Mai into the interior design for this one. And then we kind of looking back to the classic period of the Chinese during the retro Shanghai, which represent the glamorous, elegant, and then rich and vibrant in culture. Then we kind of like looking how it represent into the space. And also imageries before 19th century, that how everyone's in the world like portrait Chinese culture, and also the activities, and also the what people will think of like Chinese people do. So we came up with the phrase, you see the old memory, new experience, which I think is kind of give you the sense of the context, the community, and also the sense of architecture in the area. So this is the first when we came up with the scheme, and then this is the section that's the plan. So this is the sections. But first, actually, the hotel is called Ama Hotel. Okay, so if you guys like Chinese, Ama, it's grandmother. So this is what we did a collage for her. And then this is she also requests to design a pavilion inside the garden of the hotel. This is what we perceive the garden. This is it's comprised of the image. And then later on, we kind of like develop it a little bit. Actually, the hotel, it's done by the other architects. We only do for interior and then helping her design the garden. But I think that the reason I took this project as one of the example for this talk, because I think this project is giving the quite good big concept of sustainable design, because most of the material and also design, we really emphasis on using local material, and also we use a lot of like natural resources as our main concept for this design. And then this is plan. And also we use a lot of like cultural objects to represent in this project as well. So this is the theme that we like develop later on for this project. This is lobby area. We use a lot of natural ventilation, also sunlight as well, because we feel that from the point of view, Chinese and Lana, most of the area in this in our community, we use a lot of non-air conditioning area. So we want to introduce for the space as well. This is the lobby. This is the guest room. Even though we need to put in AC on, right? But we still use a lot of like lighting and natural ventilation. This is pavilion that been since we developed it. This is the garden area. So final design. So in the end, we kind of like mixing between like Chinese and also Lana a little bit. You can see the details on the counter and the wall. It's very Thai wooden house style, but the backdrop on the counter, it's like Chinese medicinal cabinets. And then this is the walkway. So you see the pattern of the window, so you can help reduce the light into the room. And this is the lobby. Oh, sorry, this is the restaurant. This is the guest room, and this is the courtyard of the garden. And then when start to build, I think it's quite good actually. We changed a lot of the detail during the construction, but I can say that the building interior building itself, it's quite good in terms of like the goal that we aim for. Okay, so that represent Chinese and the mixture between Chinese and Lana, and also with a lot of like natural and sustainable design as well. This is the activities area. This is the main stairs. This is so in the end, the owner decided to adjust the pavilion into quite like tropical style. So I think it's quite success and really good in terms of like the usage for the guests during the daytime. So it can be a spa and it can be a different activity space. This is a guest room. This is the pavilion. This is we were looking down. So I think it's quite like really like comfortable to stay there during the daytime. Okay, so that's the first project. So the second project, actually, I let me check that. Okay, so I have 25 minutes more. So the second project, it's a kindergarten and primary level school. It's in Chiang Mai. My goal for this project is create the environmentals that good for kids to learn. Kids good for kids to grow, good for kids to live. So the basic, beginning with the concept of the three topic, because it's a school, so I need to incorporate how students learn as well. So I think in terms of three main key things: architecture, activities of children, kids, and educational need to be three things that will balance to each other. So this three things will be accounted into a design. And then when we walk into the site is quite good. Actually, it's in Chiang Mai University. It has a lot of rain tree. So this is me walking down the site, and then I said, wow, it's really a good site for build a school. But what can we gain from this site? What can we really design the school that had like strengths of this site? So because it's a school, right? So it will be children's here. So from what if nature and then children together? What we gonna get from this one? So I think it's kind of like give me the feeling that, oh wow. So if the students stay like in the nature, what it be? So during that our design phase, I came up with this image, and wow, it would be good. I mean, if students can live in the nature, and then so they will have a chance to experience what nature will be, and we will love the nature like we did. So we kind of like using the tools for us to design, so students can perceive and can what's the word? They can perceive the value of nature, and then they can notice, right, the nature through their senses. So we kind of like divided the senses into like four main things, like the ears, the nose, skin and muscle, and the eyes. So each one will represent through the representative for each one. So the ear, they can hear the sounds of nature. For the nose, they can smell the flower. They can smell the scent of the earth when the rains drop. So the skin, they can touch the texture of the material of the building, and the eye, so they can see the building. So we kind of like divided the senses and material, and then we try to match it up. So students will learn from the nature, and then we try to like create it like a lot of things that will help to preserve the nature. For example, like we won't cut down the tree, so that's why we trying to design the architecture that really embrace the nature. This is just our like we try to build like a lot of prototype to learn if it works, or is it okay, or is it not okay. And then also we also did like a lot of like simulation as well to simulate, and then we try to prove that it will be good for the children if they like stay there during the school time. Is it the wind's gonna be good or enough? It really like suitable for the environmental or not. So this we kind of like testing the wind. Okay, so the wind we both testing like vertical wind and then horizontal wind, the wind that will passing through each space of the school, because it's quite big school, about like 9,000 square meter. So we're beginning with the study of the sites that we want to keep all the tree that in the main area of the school, and then we will build the schools over. But how can we divide it, the school? So we kind of like thinking that we will have the bridge that divide and also actually connect the children to the nature. You see, so the grid have two duties to divide the school from primary level and then kindergarten level, but really bring the kids to the nature. So this is the site area. And then there's two parts of the school, kindergarten level courts and then the primary level courts. Each have different characters. So on the first floor, mostly the function it's a school office, auditorium, and then canteen. But then student can run around for with the courtyards, which we have a brick courtyard, we have a earth courtyard, we have a grass courtyard, all to have provide different experience for the children. And this is interior. So this is the second floor. The second floor mostly it's a classroom, and then we have like more canteen, have library, we have music room, we have like a library for the kindergarten, sorry. And then this is primary level classroom. And then the third floor, it's like a supporting room, math, science, library, and computer room. And this is the library, we call it annual ring library. And this is the rooftop. We have like art and craft. We have a language center. We have a cultural aspect as well. This is another room. So the point for the sustainable design in this school, I think it's kind of like how we embrace the nature that surrounded the school, especially the big tree. And then student will have this tree as the heart of the school. So student will experience the nature within the nature all the time. So that I think that will teach them, and then will grow the level of nature into them. And then this is the corridor that wrap around the courts. So it's always provided semi-outdoor activities area. So students can always run around with a lot of lights and a lot of natural ventilations. And this is exterior perspective. And because we don't really have a fence in our school, so the building itself will act as the fence. You see a lot of like bricks. I think bricks, it's kind of giving the feeling of homey to the students, and also it's really easy to find in for the local area. So I think it's quite really good for the environmental as well. This is the other side. This is the entrance, and this is perspective for the kindergarten courts. And then this is for the primary courts. The tree here is bigger. And we have the big structure to protect the children as well, because rain tree, it's easy, the branch is quite easy to like fall down. So we have this one to protect children as well. And this is the bird eye view perspective. So that's for the first view project. Now we will narrow it down more like interior design. So the third one, it's a hotel. It's a hotel around the commercial area in Chiang Mai, in my city. It's called Non. Non means sleeping, so it's good for relaxing. Okay, so this hotel is just recently finished, but unfortunately, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, they just closed for now, temporary, but we open next month. So if you can like come to Chiang Mai, I think you can pay a visit to this hotel. Okay, so the project, it's quite interesting too, because it's renovation. I did a lot of renovation projects lately, which is, I think it's good in terms of carbon footprint. It's helped reduce carbon footprint a lot, and it's really good for the city as well, because you don't tear it down and then rebuild it again. But it's really difficult, I can say, it's really difficult for architects to design from the existing building at some point, and also difficult for construction. But this project, we pull it through. So it's good thing to learn from the old project. So the existing building, it's a dormitory. The shape of itself is like a U shape, and this is the first floor and then the second floor. So you see the main circulations is on the back of the U. Okay, so there's only stairs to go up and down, and the corridors, it's on the center area. This is existing. You see that. Yeah, it's used to be an old dome. It's quite run down, and I think it's the owner said that they don't really have occupancy like for quite a year before the new owner like rent it out. This is the first floor area, looking toward the main. So that's what we beginning our project. Because it's hotel. I think it's kind of interesting that the hotel needs to be unique in terms of how it represent the identity or represent the new experience to the customer or the user to use it. Okay, so the owner asked us to think of how we will represent the concept of Chiang Mai. Okay, so we're beginning with looking at the location. We always, I mean, me and my staff and my partners, we always looking around. We always thinking, what's the context of this site will reflect? What's the context will give us the answer? What's the context will have the special character for this project? So the concept of the site, this site is quite interesting that it's sitting in between the river. If you look at the map, it's a map of Chiang Mai. The square one is Chiang Mai Old City, and the left side is a mountain where I cycle up and looking toward the city, and the left side, the right side is a river. It's a main river of Chiang Mai. Okay, so we say, oh, this building is like, this site is sitting in between the mountains and the river. So we kind of like using that concept into our design. So we have two sides, river and hill. Actually, it's not hill, should be a mountain. Okay, so in terms of river like represent trades, market, lively, crowded, like moving, right? While mountain is a nature, calm, relax, and adventure. So we kind of like gather around for the reference for the image. This is the Chino-European style of architecture that go along the Chiang Mai River. Back during the time we have the logging industry, we used to have like many companies from the Western, like Bombay Burma, that when they doing a logging, so they shipping the log into the center of Thailand through that main river. Then mountain, hill, Doi Suthep. This mean Doi mean mountain, and then we have like hill drive. So when these two concepts, like when we brought this one, so we have a river, which is we kind of like try to find the material to represent each of the side as well. Brick, white, steel, concrete. So it represents river. So the mountain, while the mountain is like brick, wood, stone, and green. Okay, so here's how we laid out each building. I'm gonna go fast a little bit. So this is the diagram that we did. The building is, so we kind of thinking that we will push the corridor into outside. So we create the intimate and personal space inside between the two buildings, and that's where we're gonna put the swimming pool over there. And we decided we want to make the room a little bigger, so we push the room through the main corridor, which is existing one is inside, right? So the room is getting bigger a little bit, and then we need to rebuild the corridor outside. But the good thing, when you put the corridor outside, when you walk along the corridor, you see the view outside as well, and also the natural ventilation is better. So this is a sketch that we did during design phase. So that's the building that clad with different material, and that's what we trying to achieve. So each of the building, each of the hotel, they have different characters. The one represent mountain, and the other one represent river. So this concept will going into the interior space as well. And then this is further development. But after design development, the owner he wants more like unique. I mean, because during, I mean, a lot of building around the area is quite really have different character, but he wants this two building to become very united theme. So we decided, oh, we can do that, but we need to redesign the facade a little bit, but it still need to represent the concept of Chiang Mai and Lan Na area. So we decided to play around with the brick, how we lay the brick down, okay? And then this is section studies. And then this is type, the shape of the swimming pool we're gonna put over there. And we decided to put some greens on the area as well. And then later on, when we start kind of like refine the exterior, okay, and then we brought in the interior. So we decided that for the interior, we also need to represent Chiang Mai as well. So the local handicraft is playing really a big part in this interior design. Or woods, the use wood is quite really good example of how we embrace the concept of the local craftsmanship, and also the handicraft object as well. And this is early scheme for the guest room. This is a restaurant. So each of the object that we like really specifically selected carefully to represent the local. This is the detail that we developed. This is the corridor side of the hotel. This is the detail of the brick we lay it down. Then this is how we try to use different style of brick that represent each of the building. This is testing of the lighting. This is how we portray the scheme of the color. This detail of the brick on the side. And so it's finished. And but when I finish it, I kind of like happy for some parts, and then some part that because it's a renovation building, so we have a lot of problem during the construction, and then but with the work closely with this project, I think it's quite came out to be okay. So for the facade, you guys might think it's changing, yeah, because of the time consuming of the brick pattern. So the owner decided to use a lot of doors and windows panel from Lan Na house, and to reattach to the facade to represent the Lan Na. Okay, this is the front entrance, and this is the lobby area counter. So we use a lot of the old wood from the old house, and also a lot of handicraft objects. This is the lobby area, breakfast area. And then this is the first floor corridor. And also the right image is the stairway. So I think that's the second floor. So I think it's kind of good that even the brick is giving you the concept of the boundary, but because of how we laid it zigzag, it's giving you the opportunities to wind and sun to go through the wall and create the really beautiful patterns on the ground. And this is the stairway as well. This is the room. So the room, we kind of like using the natural materials like woods, and then kind of like giving in the light tone to represent the lightness. And also the fabric, it's still reflecting the pattern of the handicraft of the hill tribe as well. This is the breakfast area. Okay, so this is the last project. Okay, the last project, it's a coffee shop. It's not finished yet. It's during the design phase, but it will get built soon this year. Royal project is the projects that by the late king, King Ramanai. The project mainly for this because of before that the hill tribe, they used to plant like opium, okay, and then when the king started to develop the royal project, he urged the hill tribe to plant the coffee beans, the coffee tree. So that's what the beginning of the royal project. The site itself, it's inside Chiang Mai University. It's an old coffee shop, which is also the shop to selling the food product of the royal project as well. So it's kind of like a flagship a little bit in Chiang Mai area. So usually people come here and buy like fresh vegetables or product from royal project, and also have a chance to drink coffee, which is harvested from the hill tribe, from the mountain as well. So this is old architecture. So this is the site. You see a big tree again. Okay. The building style is loft with the bricks and steel, and the flat roof, butterfly roof as well. So I think by beginning investigating the building itself, it's interesting that we want to build a space that really reflecting again what's make the site specific for me, and also what's the site make it really specific for Chiang Mai people. I think that's our duty to bring this one to this store. So this is the existing. So the surrounding, you see a lot of trees, a lot of like foliage, a lot of like shadow passing through the leaf, and then I think it's quite really good experience to sitting in the open space and like drinking coffee, and then spend time with your friends and your loved one. And so conceptual design. I think there's a key main three things: nature, lifestyle, and then the important part is coffee. And then you kind of like try to get the keywords to each one. Nature, like peace, calm, relax, serenity. Lifestyle, lifestyle is a culture. It's how people in Chiang Mai live. And coffee, it's product we really good at. So we decided to extend because we don't really have much things to see in this area except the nature within. So we kind of like extend the exterior area, which is zone C, okay, and also extend the indoor area, zone B as well. So we kind of like doing like a little collage to understand and then to represent this one to the clients. So we want to build the entrance with the new material. We will use the material that kind of link it to the local and also reflecting the uniqueness of the Chiang Mai. And we really need to embrace the nature, which I think is a tree here. And also we need to we kind of like analyze the pattern of the hill tribe that in this project as well. They have different kind. They have Karen, they have like monk, and they have Muser as well. So we kind of like develop the pattern of the hill tribe weaving technique into the facade of the building. So this is our studies. So this is so the building in gray is an old building, existing building. So we kind of like decided we want to design into the empty space on the right side with the concept of Lana architecture as well. We're trying to create the sense of Lana, which is like semi-outdoor living area, and also the scale of the Lana, which I think if you guys recall, it's the scale of the roof, and also it's a space in the Lana traditional house. And this is the area, and this is the area we want to create for the people, for the sense of terrace of the old house. And also we want to use the local material as well. This is the study of the scale. So this is the mass model when we came out, and they exactly give us the interesting idea that we will create the chord. So we'll try to create the 2 chords, the 3 chords here, and also this is another chord. This is a more like a yard chord. So this is the scale of the roof that represent the Lana, and this is the transition space between inside and outside. So, and also we did a lot of like testing as well. This one we built a mass model and we put on the site to see how the shadow of the tree and also lighting really affecting the building. So I think by using this kind of like material, it's allow wind to go through and lighting as well, but also protecting the privacy. But if you move along, the thickness of the roof tile will protecting the privacy. But if you like stand straight, you can see inside. So this is we trying to build like a mock-up as well. This is a real material, real scale. So this material will create the pattern for the hill tribe with the help of the steel sheets. And then when it came to interior design, we kind of like thinking how we will represent the Lana-ness, the Chiang Mai-ness, the royal project, the core identity into this project. So we want to create the kind of like clean feeling, homey, yet simple enough. So this is the theme that we trying to represent. So we redesigned the whole thing. Then this is the pattern we want to use. We used a lot of like natural related wood, and also the handicraft fabric as the main lamp. And also we use a lot of brick wall as well. But our brick wall will be a different. Our brick wall will be represent the boundary, but but it's not really a closed boundary. It's like the boundary is still open to link between inside and outside. So this is still an indoor area, but you still see the left side. It's a wall that use the tile. This is the brick wall I was talking about. And also I think in terms of representation of the Royal Project. Royal Project did a lot of, they have a service, they have a station, many stations on the mountainside. So I think the graphic will be another interesting idea to represent how the Royal Project situated in different parts of the mountain in northern part of Thailand. So we decided just to embrace the graphic, the pattern into the wall as well. So this one is kind of like our reference that we were like thinking, maybe if we send like plan or elevation or sections into the wall of the interior space. So that's, but it's not a finalized idea yet. That's what we're trying to put the graphic of the mountain for the wall, which will giving you the feeling of the mountain that surrounding us. And also the furniture, we want to use the one that really giving the concept of natural material, and also suitable for the outdoor space as well. Okay, so that pretty much. Okay.
Okay, thanks so much, Art,
Okay.
for your presentation. There's a lot of very interesting projects, and I like especially how you combine and juxtaposing two different elements in the same design. Before we jump into the product presentation, there's a couple of questions. I think there's time for a couple of questions. We have a question from our YouTube live stream viewer. Let me read it for you.
Okay.
So it's from Ferdi. His question is, I believe sustainable could be defined for many aspects, such as environment, economic, maintenance, and etc. As architect and designer, what aspect are you concerned more, and how do you implement it?
Sustainable design. Wow, yeah. It's a very good question. I think it's really depends on how architects looked at it. There's many. I mean, sustainable design. You can think as a green. I mean, usually you heard a lot of words like green buildings, right? I think for myself, I think sustainable design, it's when you design the building that's not hurting natural. You know what I mean, right? Not hurting. For me, it's mean like you have like less effect to the surrounding, to the sites. You see a lot of my project that they have trees, they have like natural resources that go around the site. We really trying to avoiding cutting the trees. So it's, I can say and also that's one point of view. So you won't really disturb the nature that your building is going to be there. But if the building is really big, it's really hard to avoid. I didn't show in this lecture. I have one project. I designed a small house, like 5 small house inside the garden. So that's kind of interesting that we were trying to avoid the tree. So the shape of the house like always like twisted. So I think one of my my answer is not to try to have less impact on the nature in the surrounding area. And also the second one, I think for me, it's more and more using the local material. So you have less transportation costs. So it reduces the carbon footprint as well. And the third one, it's also designed with the green thinking in mind. I mean, should be designed with the thing of how you're gonna create the cozy space with less electricity. As you can see from many of my projects, I always talk about the gray space, the space that I think most of the local people like. I mean, maybe you guys I know as well that you like to sit under the roof, right? but you don't want to go inside the AC room. That's what my gray space is, because I know one architect which is really, he's really good. He always talking about the gray space, that it's really fit our lifestyle. We cannot stay in the AC all day. We need to have space that really connect us to the nature in our context. Oh, okay. So I think for me, it's 3 or 4 aspects that I always like address in my design, that I think it's really sustainable with the environmental. Okay.
Okay, so I like how you answered with bringing in the outside into the house. Is the definition of the gray area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's a question similar to that. So the second project that you shared, how do you implement the nature into the materials that you used? So have you applied like green buildings or something?
Oh, you mean you mean like a leads and stuff like that?
Yeah, like the materials and the
The
raw material. Yeah.
the one with the second project is it a school, right? Or the hotel? Hold on. Sorry. Let me. The second one. Oh, okay. The second one is a hotel. So the hotel mostly it's material. We use a lot of material. I mean, in Chiang Mai, you can find a lot of old woods. Actually, the old wood is really good to use with interior, use at interior design and also exterior design, because in Chiang Mai, the old traditional house, like I mentioned before, it's you can disassemble it and you can assemble it back again. It's like a Lego, and the old woods, especially the old wood, they're not shrinking anymore. They always stay the same, right? I mean, if you use wood as your main component for window frames and then door frame, it will shrink from time to time, especially like countries on the which have like high humidity like Indonesia, Malaysia, right? You guys will know that. Woods don't have that kind of problem, so it's easy to use the wood. So to use as wood as the main material for the hotel or the house, so it's create less problem. And another thing is the brick we use it from the local, so it helps reducing the cost of the transportation, and also it's very it's a good material because of the workers, the construction workers very familiar with, so they don't waste the stuff, you know what I mean, right? So they build it like just enough. And also many of the building, many of the material of the building itself, like handicraft, the owner, they buy it from the local. So I think it's kind of like giving you the process of supporting the local business as well. So in terms of sustainability, I think it's not just architecture, but it needs to be served into different layers, serving economic as well, social. Yeah, it's kind of that stuff.
Okay, so before we go to the extended Q&A session, we want to jump into the product presentation from Wilsonart Thailand. So,
okay.
Would you like to share now?
Okay, thank you, Beatrice. Thank you,
Right.
Dr. Art. I'll be sharing the product presentation from my side. Okay, so today I'll be sharing about our company information and also the trend design in 2020. Wilsonart, we are a US laminate brand founded by Mr. Ralph Wilson with the mission, surfaces you love, service you can count on, and people who care. This is our global network. In last year, 2019, Wilsonart, ICA acquired Wilsonart Asia Pacific. ICA acquired Wilsonart Asia Pacific under the group. So here is our factories around the world, and we have distribution channel in almost every country. So what is HPL? Most of you might already know that HPL is for interior design decoration. So it can be for wall panel, cabinet, doors, or furniture. I will be showing you on how we make laminate. So HPL is all around you. No matter it's hotel, house, office, or anywhere. So HPDL, high pressure laminate, consists of 3 different layers: craft paper, decorative paper, and also the overlay on the top to enhance wear resistance on the surface. Then we go through the treating process to enhance the product quality. Then we put all the layers into the pressing machine to create the surface, and it becomes a high pressure laminate sheet. So these are our main focus. The first thing is that global standard quality. Even our factory is in Thailand, we still refer to US standard. Second thing is sustainability. We focus on, we care the environment in terms of our production process and also the product. The third is design variety. We have our marketing research to study about the trend design to input in our collection. And then our product is customized. So we can customize in terms of graphic designs, in terms of texture, and in terms of sizings. And we are the total solution for the surfaces. Not only the HPL, but we also have the other product for interior designs. So this is our Wilsonart product range. On the left here is our core product or high pressure laminate. Consists of wood grain design, stone design, solid color, pattern, metal, digital art, and custom laminate. The custom laminate is the design by the client. So clients can create the design and send to us to put on the laminate sheet. And then on the right here, the performance laminate is designed for the area that you need higher performance. The first one is Eon laminate. This one is the laminate that you need the high durable surface for some specific area. Second one is the traced laminate or the anti-fingerprint. The third is fire-rated laminate, and then chemical resistant laminate for the laboratory, solid core or color true laminate from top to bottom, magnetic and magnetic bucker board, and the compact board. The compact board is the self-supporting board. You see them in like those toilet cubicle. These are the quality assurance that we are focusing. The first one is scratch resistant, that the laminate is resist to the sharp object. The second one is wear resistant. The third one is boiling water resistant. Impact resistant, post-formable test, meaning that our laminate can bend, and also antibacterial. So here is about the trend, interior design trend in 2020. So in this like busy life, people are needing more on like those, needing to connect our lives to the nature. So this trend, we are bringing the new natural wood grain design into the trend. So using the light tone of the natural wood together with the green material, creating the warm atmosphere into the space. And then the next design trend is using the light tone of wood together with the fine cracked concrete design, Serra soapstone, to create a contemporary look. And then below here, Samdao oak, This wood brand is the mid-tone of wood. It's an on-edge wood that creates the industrial style that you can mix and match together with the gray, the brown color, or the one-edge metal. Another one is the marble. Marble is a noble material, but in terms of laminate design, drama marble right now is becoming more popular. People are requiring more on the brown or the gold vein of the marble, creating a glamorous look for the surface. And then on the right here, you see black marble. We call it San Marino marble. The trend that we study from the European fair, they are saying that the vein in the marble, they'll be requiring more on the smaller and smaller vein. And then this is terrazzo design. Most of you are maybe familiar with terrazzo design on flooring, but right now terrazzo becoming more popular on the surface material, such as like wall panel or furnitures. But this one is to highlight the surface. And comes to industrial design. I think all of you may know like what is industrial design, but let me tell you the story. This industrial design is actually from the Soho area in New York. At that time, when people start to work with the machine, so many factories in Soho area closed down, and then no one is at the factory. So some designers just went to the factory and tried to renovate the factory to be their house. Before that, they were not very familiar with living in that kind of space. But then in the end, when designer adjusts a bit of those raw materials, it become like more cool. So that's why industrial design is more popular. So using this rustic steel, red rustic, to decorate together with those concrete look. And then comes to the solid color trend. So this blue and dark green is a cool tone. So these two colors will be the color of the year in 2020. Before that, the gray color are very popular, but now blue and gray can replace. So this blue and gray color can mix and match together with those natural design like wood or the solid color of like earth tone. And then apart from the cool tone, we have another terracotta warm tone that is the new trend in 2020. This warm tone we can mix and match together with the sweet pink design to make the room looks more modern and warm. So apart from those design, now in terms of texture, people will be requiring more on the soft touch velvety surface to make them feel good when they touch, or an anti-fingerprint. So now, as the COVID situation is happening right now, so people will be concerned more on the antibacterial material because microbe is everywhere and people suffering from the infection quite a lot. That's why this is an important thing that we need to focus to start using the surface material that can prevent the spread of the bacteria. So at Wilsonart, we are offering the antibacterial laminate in our designs, any designs in the collection. And it also can be cleaned often by the alcohol. This is our test report by SGS. Apart from the antibacterial, green material is also required quite a lot these days. So people concern more on health and environment. So at Wilsonart, we have green card and green label that showing that we release low formaldehyde that cause no harm to people. in the space. Okay, comes to some of our project reference. This is one of our project, Ramada Hotel in Phuket, using the custom laminate, putting elephant, creating the room looking unique. And also Grand Suri Hotel in Indonesia, using the wood grain design that is durable for longer term of use. And Holiday Inn Indonesia, using Wilsonart wood grain for wall panel and furniture. And this is an apartment in Chiang Mai, using Wilsonart stone and also wood grain together. Also in the office area, you can use wood grain design, also the color together. And this is our office project in Singapore, using Wilsonart wood grain, but in post-formable grade, seamless edge, so you don't need PVC to put. And Eta Hospital in Indonesia, because the material is already antibacterial, that's why the hospital will need this kind of material to decorate into the hospital. So we have Eta Hospital in BDS and Bekasi branches in Indonesia. Another highlight project, Rama Hospital in Thailand. This project also use our Wilsonart with antibacterial property grade, the whole hospital, invoice wood grain and also digital art design, the graphic here. And another hospital using Wilsonart custom laminate, the graphic here on the headbed and also on the door. Another MRI center in the hospital using solid color mix and match together with wood grain with antibacterial property. Another hospital in Thailand using custom graphic laminate to decorate the whole zone on the door, on the panel. And also in terms of retail, we have Calvin Klein using our Wilsonart concrete. Calvin Klein is using us like for the whole region. And also Electrolux, also serving regional market. An ice cream shop here using the custom laminate to represent the car. CIMB Bank in Indonesia using wood grain and solid color. As you can see on the tabletop here is post-formable. This one is a toilet cubicle at Suvarnabhumi Airport, the international airport in Thailand, using custom graphic laminate on the door. And then another commercial project using custom laminate on toilet cubicle. And also at the signage at VTS Skytrain using custom laminate in UV grade. Another project, Cinepolis in Indonesia using Wilsonart wood on the wall panel and ceiling. So these are some of our clients that we are serving. In terms of like the hotels, we have Ibis, Amari, Marriott, Hotel 81, Holiday Inn, or like even with a retail brand. We have Jollibee, McDonald's, Bonchon, KFC, MK, or Shaw & Kid, Louis Vuitton, Goya, or even the hospital. Eta Hospital, Bangkok Hospital. So And you guys can scan QR code here to add our Facebook fan page to follow us and update all the news and trends. So this is all about our Wilsonart. So let me pass the session to Beatrice. Okay.
Okay, thank you, May.
Thank you.
It's very exciting for the new colors and trends. I personally cannot wait for our designer friends to start using the new colors and trends.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
So we're going to go back to the Q&A session. So for our participants, if you have any question, please click the raise hand button on the Zoom cloud meeting.
They ask a lot of nice questions. I try to like answer in the chat.
Yeah, there's still a lot of questions from our YouTube viewers as well. I'm going to ask one from the YouTube. So it's from Arin Kairina. Is there any change in designing interior for public space after COVID-19, especially in designing hotel and co-living space?
Actually, I did design. Now I'm designing another co-working office for because in our university we have the one of the major that like doing a lot of projects with a startup, okay, and then startup the startup for like small medium-sized entrepreneur, they need a space, physical space, not online space. So there's a lot of studies mentioning about that. Even though now we do a lot of it online, right? Now we do online seminars, we do online exercise, right? I did Swifting as well. So, but for our core, but they say that our core business, we still have to make a business through physical contact. Okay, so but the design will help on that. I did a lot of not I did a lot of, I just recently designed a co-working space which will separate into units. So each unit have like natural ventilations, and each unit have their own AC system. And also you have like a break area, because you cannot work all day, right? You need to have some privacy space. That's what I found with myself as well, because last month everyone stay home, right? And then it's funny thing that you don't really spend time with your like family like 24 hours a day, right? So because we came to office, we came to work, right? So I think the new trend, it would be like how we create a personal space for each person, that they can like have a short break from for the big group. So the personal space is not a room, maybe it's just a corner that you can still see each other, but you don't really have like but you give away the space to each other. I think that's what really helping our our relationship. We cannot really like attach to each other all the time, even though it's necessary now. But in terms of architects and designers, I think definitely a new space should embrace the how we changing our life. I did help judging the student professional competition for the Arc Asia. We did a house during COVID-19, so it's quite interesting that different architects in different countries submit the work to us, and then mostly we're thinking in the same way. You need to separate the room. You need to have the exercise area. You need to have like a room you can grow your plants, so you can like harvest it to like to your like consume in your household. Everyone like did the same thing, but I think that's one person actually. I think they're the winner. They create the space that you can have fun with yourself. You can play around. You can climb the wall. So I think that's another the aspect that you need to incorporate that into the design. And also during the COVID-19, during this time, I think you see a lot of like, especially like maybe your friend, your neighbor, they did a lot of cookings, right? Because they cannot go anywhere, right? I think I can say that hobby is another thing that will relieve your stress. So doing the thing you love, it will be another factors for your design, especially like when you're working. Maybe you can work in your kitchen because you love cooking, right? During the seminars or during the meeting, you can just, maybe this is too much, so you can just do something that break away from this moment, and then you come back and work again. So I think that's how we survive in this situation, because we cannot work, because when you work like online too, right? You will work all the time. That's the thing, right? You can do a Zoom meeting like 11 at night, right? That's what happened to me last week too. My friend that, hey, let's meeting. We have meeting with a new research project. And he said, okay, we'll meet around 10 to 11. I said, really? And you cannot avoid, right? Because he knows that I am at home all the time. So
Yes.
that's what I think that's another factor that we need to incorporate too. You need to design a personal space to do the thing you love, to do the thing that you will help you reduce a stress.
Yes, I think that's what happened to us as well here in Indonesia. How about the COVID situation up there in Thailand? Is it getting better or?
Yeah, we're getting better. Actually, we've been locked down. We have the slightly different concept in lockdown for each, because we kind of like categorize our city in three parts. The red one is the one still have the reports of the people with the virus, and the one that have no reports of almost a month. I think more than 2 weeks, because it's the effectiveness of the virus day, right? And then the green one is the one never have a report. So we kind of like have the system that control for each city. And then today we still have the reports that they still have people have the symptoms, but mostly it's the one that travel back from abroad. So I can say that some city it's 100% free from the reports. And so I think it's getting better, but the government is kind of like he's trying to loosen up the quarantine as well. So people start living the outdoor life. Yeah. So I hope Indonesia will be the same.
Yeah, we try to get out and get a lot of sun. Okay, so if any of the participant want to ask question, you can raise hand and unmute. So I'm giving time untuk Bapak atau Ibu yang mau bertanya, boleh silahkan. Atau, okay, so there's a question from the comment box as well.
Okay.
How do you explain about healthy workplace and the relationship between healthy workplace and productivity?
Okay, so it's from Whiskey, right? That's what I was gonna answer.
Yes.
I think the healthy workplace, and I think there's two things that we should talking about this one. I think the healthy workplace, it's like when you work, it's not, there's a have you heard the word like life work balance, right? People are like using a lot like life work balance, it's like when you balance the work and your life, right? One of my friends, he's a director of one of the center in Chiang Mai University. The concept of life, he said another word, life work harmony. I think it's quite interesting how we compare to this one. I think life work balance is how you divided your life and your work. So it's kind of like go against the concept of like I might say Japanese because there's a news, right, that people in Japan, they work like late and they work like 80 hours per week, and then really it's really harmful to your body, right? That's why the words like life work balance is like came through. So it's a concept of how you divided the time of work and divided the time of your life. But I think I quite agree with my friend. There's the quote that life work balance. Life work harmony. I mean, for myself, I can work. Usually, architects or designer, they always like thinking about how they work, right? Sometimes the good idea is not really came through when you work. It's always came through, or it's will come up when you're doing something that you has no stress. Like sometimes you thinking like about this design or this solution during you're taking a shower, or during you have a good conversation with your friends, or even when you're drinking, right? So for me, I think for me, I agree with the words like life work harmonies. So if we reflect back to the concept of the question, I think the good work environment, I think it should be a design of the workplace that really help like enhancing or really incorporate the concept of your nature of your work. For example, like if you work as the Google computer technician, right? Because you do a lot of codings, you need to have inspiration, or you need to have like a lot of stress-free environment. That's why they have a lot of different place for a meeting. I think the good place to work is the work that really helping you reduce your stress, and also really giving you the helping you the like boosting your work, but definitely need to suit your nature of work as well. And then if you're happy with your workplace, you have a good productivity.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question for May this time. So towards the new normal, have you seen any change in customer behavior for their inquiry about materials like HPL for the the new normal within this COVID-19 situation?
Okay, Beatrice. Yes, there are quite a lot of new inquiries during this COVID-19 situation. People are focusing more on like those hygiene materials or like on the safety. So many people are asking for like antibacterial materials, which I show you in the presentation that our material is in antibacterial grade. So actually, like the Wilsonart, the standard grade is already antibacterial, but people may not be aware before. But then, like when there are more and more questions during this time, so they are more aware on this. And also the other thing, apart from antibacterial, because more and more people will be using like those alcohol spray or alcohol gel cleaning all the time, right, during the day. So there are quite a lot of people asking for like the chemical agent or alcohol cleaning on the surface material. So that's why like we are telling that Wilsonart surface material is available and is okay to be cleaned often by the alcohol, 70% that people use.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, May. So,
You're welcome.
ada pertanyaan lagi dari Bapak Ibu? Ini saya lihat ada banyak teman-teman kita dari HDII seperti Ibu Deti, Ketua HDI. Ada Bu Deti dari HDII Jabar, ada Pak Agung dari Bali, Bu Novi dari Bali, kita ada Bu Lea Aziz juga. Hai Bu. Ada Pak William Petty, salah satu pembicara juga, dan Ibu Naila dari DPI. Mungkin ada pertanyaan dari Bapak Ibu untuk rekan-rekan kita yang dari Thailand ini. Okay, there's a question coming in from the chat box.
Yes.
I'll try to translate it.
Okay.
Today, at this time, there's a lot of collaboration from a lot of design, from a lot of design industry. How are you accommodate the idea and the strategic for the sustainable design? And how to incorporate local artists as well for today, this new normal?
So the first question is how you incorporate international, right? Is that correct, Beatrice?
I think a lot of different kind of designs for the first question, like how to incorporate a lot of different designs. And then the second question is the idea how to collaborate with, local artists.
Okay. Maybe I think the first one, let me think, but the second one, usually there's a many collaboration in Chiang Mai that local artists work with architects. There's a hotel that the local artists will paint specifically for the interior as well. I think the local artists play a lot of parts in design. I mean, but it really depends on how they're helping the architects. I mean, it's because it's quite there's a lot of variety in the local artists, painting, sculptural, even like I can say there's been a lot of like good vibe or good movement lately, because in Chiang Mai we have like initiative called creative economies. I think you guys might heard of it. Creative economies. It's agency that helping boosting the local economies. So a lot of artists in Chiang Mai or in Thailand, they did a lot of good work, right? But they don't know how to marketing it, or they don't really know the connections to sell it, right? So this initiative, like always bridging local artists, maybe to match with marketings, or to match with young modern designer. So they did a lot of this kind of project together. So they will add value to their design. Even add a lot of like technology to it, so you can marketing it on Facebook, online, or on whatever the social media is. So I think that's really helped like show. I think it's like showing like a showcase their design as well. So I cannot say it's how we architects really like helping them. I think it's more like we kind of like they kind of like easy to collaborate nowadays than the day before, I think, because of the this initiative, and also because of the technology. But it's different case, different opportunities. For the second question, I think there's a lot of like support for them. Okay, and because now they can do marketing, it's like with their customer, you know what I mean, right? Because I think there's one of the artists who did a lot of like really dye or pattern on the fabrics, right? So she showcased her work through YouTube and her Facebook. So one of the clients from the Europe saw her work, and they're doing like business directly. And also I think there's some artists that show off his design, his drawing, and one of the architects said, "Oh wow, this one really cool." So he hired him to painting in his design inside the house, something like that. So I think it's like information technology and social media really helping like bridging between local artists and the markets.
Okay, so apparently that question was from Mr. William Patty. Maybe Pak William bisa say hi juga, Pak. Apakah sudah menjawab untuk pertanyaannya, Pak? Nggak ada, Pak Williamnya. Hello. Okay, so yeah, that was from Mr. William Patty. He's one of our designer friends as well here in LKS. Oh. Thank you for the question. Apakah ada yang mau tanya lagi? Is there another question that you would like to ask?
I think there's a question asking me the software. I don't remember it because one of my partners, he doing because there's someone asking me for the software for the testing for the wind and the lighting. Maybe I'll. How can I answer it? If I know the answer later, what can I? Maybe you can send me the person who asked me. You can send me the question in the Facebook. I can send you the name of the software. Okay.
Okay.
I need to ask my friend later. He helping me on that simulation.
Okay. So for the simulation, the question, the person who asked the question can reach out to me, and I'll give your contact to.
Okay.
Better, yeah. Okay, so the next order of business, I would like to ask for your help to fill out the evaluation poll. Maybe Ben, can you help me show the image? Oke, jadi untuk Bapak Ibu bisa dibantu untuk diisi di bit.ly /LKS-evaluation. Nanti setelah ini kita akan ada foto bersama, jadi bisa minta tolong untuk menyalakan kameranya. So after this, we're going to have a group photo session. So for those of you who switched off the camera, you can switch it back on after the evaluation polling. Jadi saya kasih sedikit waktu untuk mengisi evaluasinya. Jangan kemana-mana dulu, habis ini kita akan grup foto sebentar. Karena partisipannya banyak, nanti akan ada beberapa slide, jadi posenya di hold dulu ya Bapak Ibu. Oke, so sudah diisikah Bapak Ibu untuk evaluasinya, pollingnya? Nanti setelah ini akan ada e-certificate yang akan kami kirimkan melalui email untuk partisipasinya juga. So, after this evaluation polling, after this webinar, we're going to send e-certificate for participation. I'll wait for a little bit longer to give time for you to fill in the evaluation. Don't go anywhere. We still have a group photo session after this. Please hold your pose because there's a lot of participants, so we have to do a few times for the screenshot. Oke, jangan lupa dinyalain ya semuanya kameranya. Kita foto bareng dulu sebentar. Nanti Ben boleh minta tolong untuk hitung ya Ben ya.
Oke, jadi selamat sore Bapak Ibu semuanya. Ini karena saking banyaknya peserta kita akan ambil take fotonya 3 kali Bapak dan Ibu. Jadi mohon dinyalakan semua kameranya. Kita akan ambil 3 kali screenshot. Jadi ini masih ada yang belum nyala kameranya. Mungkin bisa dinyalakan semuanya Bapak dan Ibu. Halo. Selamat sore semuanya. Oke. Masih ada yang belum ini? Pak William Peti, Bu Huda, ada Bu Seril, ada Kiki Zakia, Bu Deti. Oke. Coba masih ada ini Bu Nadia, Fikri, boleh dinyalakan. Oke. Sebentar ya. Oke, kita ambil yang pertama dulu nih. Akan ada 3 kali take. Ya, ini yang pertama. 1, 2, 3. Oke, tahan dulu, tunggu sebentar. Oke, bentar. Ya. Sekarang yang kedua. Boleh senyum ya ekspresinya ya. 1, 2, 3. Oke, tunggu sebentar. Oke. Ini yang ketiga. Ini masih ada yang belum on nih kamera ini. Ada Bu Alia, Kiki Zakia, Nadia, Fikri. Oke. Ini yang ketiga ya, kita take. Senyum ya semuanya. 1, 2, 3. Oke. Ya, oke sudah Beatrice.
Oke, terima kasih Ben.
Ya.
Oke, saya mau ingetin sekali lagi untuk Bapak Ibu yang belum isi pollingnya tadi, mau minta tolong untuk diisi supaya untuk kedepannya kita bisa lebih baik yang pastinya. Okay, so before I close today's session, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Dedi, Mr. William, Mr. Adisak, Chakpong, and May, and Pak Eno as well for today's support. So I'd like to say thank you to Art as well for coming to us, virtually of course. I hope that everyone here is happy and healthy. Terima kasih banyak sudah join dengan kami hari ini. Saya Beatrice, mau undur diri. Selamat sore semuanya.
Terima kasih juga yang sudah join di YouTube, teman-teman, rekan-rekan. Terima kasih para peserta yang join di Zoom juga, Bapak Ibu. Selamat sore dan sampai jumpa di event webinar LKS berikutnya. Sore.
Oke, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Terima
Thank
kasih.
you.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Oke.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ratapong. Thank you, May.
Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you, Mr. Dedi. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Kun Adisak. Dan jangan lupa follow juga Instagram @LKS_Vivery Group. Jadi kita akan selalu update event-event kita berikutnya, webinar berikutnya di Instagram kita.
Ya, siap, Ben.
Sampai jumpa lagi. Terima kasih semuanya.